Hello again, everybody. Harry Boxer, the technical trader at thetechtrader.com. These are the charts of the day. It's November the 18th, and the market just keeps pressing higher relentlessly. As you know, we are long in the tooth, but the market won't quit, and until it does, and until we get a decisive turn down, there's no sense in playing the short side. I really feel that way, although swing traders may make some money on the short side of some of the boxes shorts. But for today, let's go over some of the stocks we've been following, including some boxer swing longs, I should say. And you can see that Avenir is one of them. After it popped and pulled back, it's been a steady mover. From the pullback low around 1190, it's gotten up to about almost 14, not quite, but it's going very slowly. And it seems to me like it's going to move further and get up to that 15, 16 range we've been talking about. Stay the course. Well, superstar BITTA, and you can see this chart for the last couple of years has been awesome. Broke out of that training range a couple of days ago, popped sharply, and then has been following through the last couple sessions. You can see the pullback yesterday was kind of an inside day, and today popped again. Now, I think we're going to approach and maybe test the 98 range as early as tomorrow. And if we step back and look at where that is, that's kind of mid-channel, so we may see some resistance up there. Bristol-Myers, I'm not sure if it's done consolidating, but in any case, it is pushing the upper end of the flag. And something to keep an eye on. It traded 6.7 million today. It was up about 0.5%, nothing spectacular, but I did want to show you that it's set up to make a move here. The GoPro. This little left shoulder, head, right shoulder consolidation pattern, or right hand, or cup and handle, whatever you want to call it, may be ready to make a move. This 87.5 spike here, back on the 4th of November, may be challenged tomorrow, as it was nearly today at 85.78. Before backing off to close at 84.10. It was still up 260, not a bad day, up 3.2%, and more than 10 million traded. That's the best volume in a couple of weeks, so maybe we're about to emerge and make another run at the 98 area. So BITTA and GoPro both look like they may be running up towards that level. GRBK, you saw the posting earlier about the Green Brick hosting a conference call. And that'll be done on Thursday the 20th while I'm in Las Vegas. But I encourage you to check in and see what they have to say. It should be, and I've been told that they are getting a new public relations person and somebody that may be coming out with a lot more news in the next few weeks or so. So keep an eye on this one as it's starting to edge higher today. Another new 2-week high as it reached 669 and closed at 661. I believe if it gets up to the moving average, which is declining here around the 713 range, we may see it move up towards 8 and then 9 and beyond. I think GWPH had a significant day today, and I've been showing you the three-wave corrective pullback and then the pop off the low and a V-bottom with a kind of a ascending coil. That broke out today. Volume increase of 630,000. That's the biggest volume in 3 weeks on the breakout. Next target tomorrow, around 84. Get to 83.90, 84, we can see the stock also move into the 95, 98 range. IDTI swing trade popped nicely today, jumped to 82 cents or almost 5% on 3.25 million, and you can see how they pulled back opportunity here to support, did hold, and now it's popping. As you can see, the highs in the last week or so were 1835 in that zone. Today's high, 1831. We can get up and through this area, we may see a stock start to run some more. With an eventual target up near the, let's call it 21 range. I want to quickly discuss some of the gold ETFs. Look, they've been running, and the JNUG's been wonderful for several days now. And you can see that, well, the JNUG in particular has been up for 3 consecutive days. Some of the other gold stocks have moved a lot quicker than that. If you take a look at NUGT, for example, that's also moved for 3 days, but it's been edging a little bit higher. Notice the resistance up here, and this is why I'm mentioning it. I think a lot of the individual stocks, and here's RGLD. Royal Gold's been up for a couple weeks now with a couple interruptions, of course. But if you take a look at the way they've been acting, this one in particular broke the declining tops line, lateral price resistance, all the moving averages, but very well may be getting at some point soon, we may see this stock give a pullback from the resistance zone and retest the moving average to form some sort of hidden shoulders bottoming type pattern. But anyway, gold, I think, a little long in the tooth, although momentum is terrific right now for gold stocks. Up is Maxwell, jumping 59 cents or 5.5%. Volume increased a little bit to 558,000. It needs more than that, but it looks like it's trying to emerge. You can see these multiple session tops here, up around the 11.5, 65 zone. We get through that, I think maybe we can start heading up towards my next target in the 14.5 area. NLNK swing trade acting well. You can see in the last couple weeks the pullback, and today the snapback of $1.75 or 5.7%. 880,000, not spectacular volume, but the technicals look like they're about to turn around. Moving averages have held some price support. This would be the logical place for this to take off. First target, 35, 5.5. Second target, at least 38.5, 3/4, maybe 39. But ultimately, I'm looking for a big move to retest the highs in the low 40s, and then much more. I wanted to show you Omeros Corp because it's a very powerful move. Now, once you break a falling wedge like this, with a pop like that, we often see extension. Boy, what an extension on this one. How about that move? Not sure how much more momentum it has, but I could see it getting up to at least testing the 23 range short term, maybe more. Planar. I think it began a move today that could break it out, but we need more volume. It did trade just under $1 million. I was up 5%. Has it come out of this wedge? I'm not so sure yet. But it does look to me like the $8 and $9 targets are well within hand. We may even see 10 on this one. Regulus. Well, the distressing reversal and pullback over the last week here, down 6 days in a row, reversed right where it should have, not only a price support, but trendline bottom support and the 21-day moving average. Stock popped to as high as 1872, backed off to 1812, still up $1.27, 7.5%, and the volume increased a bit. I need to see more volume, of course. My next target is going to be up to test these highs of around 20, 20.5, and then we'll see if we get back up towards 25. SLW is an example of the gold stocks I follow, and they've done very well. Silver stocks. SLW broke its declining tops line, a couple resistance levels, and a 50, and may even try to extend further. The next target conceivably is up here near the 24 range. However, I wouldn't be upset if it backed off and consolidated and formed, again, some sort of head and shoulders bottoming type pattern. Huge day for SUNE, as SUNE and TerraPower, which I'll show you in a moment, both exploded on the news of a $2.4 billion acquisition that apparently was accretive. You can see the declining top line was exploded through all the moving averages, price resistance, etc., taken out with one fell swoop on a record 64.5 million shares, about the biggest volume I've ever seen in a stock in one day. And to say the least, the kind of price volume thrust that I look for when a stock's making a major reversal. As far as I'm concerned, I'm looking for an immediate test up near 23. Perhaps even a run at this high up here in the 24.5 zone, which was the multi-year high. Beyond that, we can see the stock moving more. But for now, let's see if it's contained in that zone of resistance and pulls back to test, or it extends and retests the high pretty quickly, which would be right up about there. And there's TERP, which is a recent spin-off and IPO from SUNE, breaking with a breakaway gap above the moving averages and price resistance, and even taking out the lateral resistance to getting up to just above the IPO, post-IPO high, before backing off to 32 3/4. But it was a big day, up 691 at 26 3/4% on 2.9 million shares. This one could very well have some nice follow-through. VIMC, been waiting for a month for the stock to get going. It had a big move, and they say the bigger the move, the bigger the consolidation. Yet it's a bullish-looking one, kind of a wedge pattern. This here is a falling wedge within a larger wedge. Either way, it's a consolidation pattern that, if taken out, could explode. It did pop 35 cents, or 4%, needs to get some extension with more volume. Keep an eye on this one, because if it does start to move, it could quickly test the 11, 11.5 range, maybe 11 3/4 up there, and then we're off to the races through 11.90, 12, perhaps into the 13, 15 zone. Lastly tonight is Zeltiq, one of our swing trades, which has been moving up nicely. Notice the pullback, the consolidation for 3-4 sessions. Today up 96 cents at 3.5%, volume increasing a little bit. But overall, a nice rising channel, multi-year highs, or is it all time? Yep, is the highest level ever reached by Zeltiq. And with this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5th wave underway, this could accelerate and eventually get into the mid to high 30s. So that's an interesting one to keep an eye on. And that's it for tonight, everybody. Have a good evening.